guys, oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen around the world, welcome back to the Queen Show podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, it has been a minute. I think we finished things at episode 8, and then we took a hiatus because somebody had a good idea of moving into a van and doing van life. They said would be fun, they said, except it has been has been very challenging actually, and extremely interesting to say the least. But it did manage to create a hiatus to a lot of the projects and things I wanted to do, including continuing with all the awesome podcasts that I had going on. So now I'm just like, screw it. We're not going to get the ideal setup back in my studio with my whole beautiful setup anytime soon, it seems. So screw it. You know what? Let's just do what we got to do, make use of what we have, and just go for it. And that's what we're doing. So welcome to the set of the Queen Show podcast, along with every other thing that I film from in here. I guess you would call it the set of everything in my world, including my bed set. Anyways, hope you guys have had a fantastic week. Tomorrow is Easter for you guys who happen to be watching this video at this particular time. And if you're watching this video at another time, tomorrow is an opportunity for you to smile more. And that's just really all I have to say on that. But today I present a question. We're going to dive into deep side. We're not going to sugarcoat. We're not going to ease our way into it. We're going to go potentially controversial right off the back. And we're going to talk about one thing that I have had a little bit of discussion with one of my friends. But I'm going to say this. And I'm going to present this to you guys. Feel free to respond in the comments below. And we'll do a follow-up video talking about your responses, and let's put our melting hats on together and let's figure this one out, because personally I do have my own opinion which I'm going to share with all of you. But I gotta tell you, the answer to this question is a doozy, because I think I know the answer. The question, in case you haven't seen the title of this video yet: would Freddie Mercury be upset? Would Freddie Mercury be disappointed? Would Freddie Mercury be happy with the current Queen story? How Queen turned out? Where they are right now? Would Freddie Mercury be happy? Would he be up in heaven right now looking down, smiling, going, "Oh darlings, you've done great"? Or would he be a little bit disappointed? In fact, would he feel a little bit let down? Well, I'm going to share my 2 cents, because I think that I feel a little bit as an expert on all things Queen and Freddie now that I've reacted to just about their entire body of work. Like I said, there's probably 3 or 4 songs I've missed that was pointed out to me. We will get to those at some stage. But overall, I've done it all. And we've done some documentaries. We watched the whole Queen movie at 3K long time ago when we was only at 3K. We did the 3K Spectacular. We watched the movie. I reacted to it. So I feel like I know a little something. Plus, this is all about opinions. And you can take it as you, take it with a grain of salt. It's just an opinion. It's just a thought. But that's what it is. It's conversation. It's discussion. It is the Queen Show podcast, and we're diving in. So, subscribe, by the way, and if you haven't, and all notifications on. And if you're watching this, great for you. You're probably on YouTube watching this, because I don't have this podcast video out anywhere else. If you're listening to it, you might be in your car. You might be listening to this on YouTube, which I'd prefer and hope that you're listening to YouTube, because we're, YouTube all day, every day. Let's go around these parts. But wherever you are, let's talk about this. Let's think about this and listen to my argument. And then later you can feel free to drop a comment. If you're on the radio somewhere, like, driving or wherever you are and you're listening to this, go over to the Queen Show podcast channel, or on this channel. I'm actually going to release this on the Off Tap channel, just so you guys know. This particular one, because I need to inform you guys about the new home of the Queen Show podcast, which has its own dedicated channel now. The link will be in the description, but you guys don't know about that yet, so I decided to go ahead and release this episode right where it's always been. And actually, you know what? We'll talk about the particulars about where it's going to live and all this stuff later, because I actually still might just do all the actual podcasts right here on this channel where it all began, and then just on the Queen Show podcast channel maybe do clips, little short exports, you know what I mean, little bits and pieces from the actual show and put them there, maybe do some quick shorts or whatever. I don't know. That's something for me to think about another day. But right now, let me tell you what I think Freddie feels. And again, this is opinion, so don't hate. You can have your opinion. I've got mine. But let me tell you, it's going to be controversial. I know it. So, I'm just putting it out there. Just brace yourself, because I believe Freddie would not be happy. There, I said it. It's out there. It's across the world now. I've said it. Yes, it's how I feel. I believe he would be slightly disappointed. And I'll tell you why. I'm going to back up my statement. I've got an argument to support my theory on how Freddie Mercury would feel. And this is the big thing, guys. Listen, look. At the end of the day, when Freddie passed away, Freddie wanted, I know without a shadow of a doubt, that he wanted Queen to go on. He wanted Queen to thrive and live. He didn't want his untimely demise to be the demise of his biggest passion, of the thing that he loved so much. He would not have wanted that to be the cause of why Brian and Roger and Deacon were no longer out there performing and carrying on Queen's amazing body of work, their tradition, just out there living all the things that they probably sat one day and said, hey guys, let's make Queen into this iconic, amazing group where we just fill it with all this amazing music, and the whole world gets to enjoy what Queen is, our sound, the things that make Queen Queen. Now let me further on this, okay? Because Queen was very innovative. You see, Queen wasn't just some group that just stayed complacent and they just kept making music the exact same way all the time. No. Queen evolved. And this is something I, again, as a person who has reacted to almost all of Queen's music, I can say confidently that their evolution was very apparent. Every album, you could hear them changing with the times and evolving, and the music never stayed the same. And they constantly kept, like a nice, beautiful plant, a tree, they were growing and, just becoming that much more obviously better, because that's what happens when you continuously do something. You get better and better at it. But Queen themselves were not happy with being just another run-in-the-mill band. They didn't want to be just another freaking... There's enough just bands out there. Queen were not ever going to be anyone's sheep. Queen are leaders. They are innovators. They're creative. They was at the forefront of the music scene. And I believe if Freddie was still around, Freddie would have led them to this very day to new, greener pastures. I believe that he would not have done the thing that Queen has become. And I'm sorry. This is how I feel. So I'm not sorry. But I'm telling you, I love Queen. Hey, I'm a big Queen fan. Everyone here knows. And if you're new here and you don't know, go check out all my previous Queen. I can't even speak right now. All my previous Queen reactions, and you will see for yourself that I am a huge Queen fan. Thanks to all you guys for requesting said Queen songs, because I didn't know anything about them early on. All I knew was, in the name. Everyone's heard the name Queen and Freddie Mercury, but until you dive into their body of work, until you dive in and check out their documentaries, you don't really know Queen, right? So I believe that there's a certain amount of complacency that occurred for whatever reason. We're not going to we're not going to sit here and point fingers, but obviously when Freddie passed, it was hard for the guys. I totally feel them on that, because Freddie was larger than life. How are you going to fill the shoes of such a giant? It's not an easy thing to accomplish. I get that. Totally understand that would not have been an easy thing to do, and you would have been sad and heartbroken, etc., etc., etc. But here's the problem. But they did decide to continue performing live shows as they have. And that's positive. That's good. That's great. And they are great shows. And at one stage, they had Mark, doing some shows with them. And in recent times, obviously, it's been the Adam Lambert show. And that's freaking been awesome to those who are willing to accept Adam Lambert in the role as lead vocalist for Queen. Unfortunately, diehard Queen fans, many have not really wanted him to be in that position. It's sad, actually. It's kind of sad, because unfortunately some people don't like change. But I believe that Queen should be a movement, right? Like, I think Freddie would have wanted Queen to live on forever, because I believe he knew and believed in his heart that Queen was bigger than just, again, being some backyard band. That Queen was something bigger than that. And the fans of Queen, I believe that, look, they're very supportive, they're very loving, and they are diehard. And I've learned that firsthand, thanks to the millions of comments I get every single time when I did a Queen reaction, and you guys telling me the history of Queen and every single thing down to what their favorite food is. I get it. You guys are diehard Queen fans. The Queenies, you guys love Queen. Hey, nothing wrong with that. It's awesome. And hell yeah, let's go Queen. Here's the thing though. I believe that all of us Queen fans have unfortunately missed out on an opportunity to have a whole bunch more of Queen stories, new stories. Because look, it's like your favorite food. Pepperoni pizza, cheeseburgers, chicken, brownies, whatever your favorite food is. I think I just named off a lot of my favorites. But at the end of the day, still, no matter how perfect and awesome it is, sometimes you want something a little different. You want to change it up a bit. Even if that means eating a pizza from another, restaurant, just to change it up. You want to mix it up. Sometimes you get bored of eating the same thing every single time. You need a little bit of a twist or a variation or something different to it. And I believe musically, I believe that Queen could have very easily, if the powers that be wanted to do so, could have made a whole bunch of new music for us. A whole bunch of good music. Because there's an awesome vocalist in Brian May there. There's an awesome vocalist in Roger Taylor there. And if you look, again, as someone who's done tons of Queen music, if you look at their body of work, you will find Bri had many songs he sung on. Roger had many songs he sung on. And I'm not talking about just in the background behind Freddie. I'm talking about they were the lead vocalists on the songs. So they're more than capable of coming up with a little something to freaking give us Queen fans a little something new instead of the same pizza that we love. It's our favorite food. But again, give me some freaking sausage or some sun-dried tomato, pineapple, beef, mushrooms, something on there, man. Change it up. And they could have did this. And I'm a little bit worried because under the current mentality, we're running out of time. We're running out of time because Bri and Roger aren't getting any younger, and freaking, eventually, allegedly, they will no longer be able to have the ability to sing and perform and do anything on this planet anymore because they will be moving on to the next life or whatever the situation is, allegedly. So at the end of the day, right now, it's like all these years, these decades, time has passed, and it's like all this amazing music could have still been created from Roger and Bri at the very least, because they've done that before. Nothing would have been any different than the times where they made music without Freddie's input, in the lead chair position, so to speak, in particular songs, So at the end of the day, that's one of my thoughts. The other thing is Adam Lambert has really come and really held his own in the group. Now, whether you like Adam Lambert or not is not the question. That is not the question. The thought process that I have personally is one of, look, unfortunately, Freddie's not there. But Freddie himself, one of the most famous things you heard them say is the show must go on. The show must go on. Okay? That's one of their songs, bro. The show must go on. The show must go on. And Adam Lambert has done a sensational job of assisting in that goal of allowing the show to continue to go on. Adam Lambert's done a fantastic job of that, ladies and gentlemen. Whether you like Adam or not, you can't deny that he has put 200% in and has done a fantastic job of allowing the show to go on. Okay? Here's the thing. I am personally one of those, amongst some others that have also shared my thoughts, that Adam Lambert should have been already allowed to become an actual member of Queen. Not Queen plus Adam Lambert, not Adam Lambert plus Queen. Not in this scenario. Freaking Adam has proven himself. Bring him in, because at the end of the day, that's what Freddie, I believe, would have wanted. That's my opinion. I think Freddie would have been like, yo, Adam, he's awesome. And I think Freddie would have loved Adam. I think Freddie would have been like, oh, darling, you're so awesome. I love you. I think he would have loved Adam. I think they have a lot in common, actually. I think they share a lot of similarities in certain ways. And one of the biggest ways is the passion, guys. The passion. The passion. Passion. Passion is something you can't teach. You have it or you don't. You can't teach someone how to really feel passion. And Adam has it in spades. Also, hardworking, putting every ounce of energy and effort into giving the fans the absolute best performance that you can. And Adam does that. Adam is fantastic. And here's the thing, guys. One of the reasons, and I said this in my videos, now, you guys who rode with me for a while, you've heard me say this, and this is a fact. One of the reasons people don't like Adam so much is because it's called, in the most simplistic terms, it's called the moo effect. That's what I'm calling it. And let me explain this to you. So, I've said this many times in videos. When you were a kid, the first time you heard a cow make the sound moo, your brain hole went, oh, cow goes moo. That's what it sounds like? Okay, I got it. Yep, cow goes moo. Moo, 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 cow, moo. That's what it sounds like. Boom. So, moving forward for the rest of your life, whenever you're a cow go moo, you know it's a cow because that's what your brain has been trained from the get-go to register with the moo sound. It's a cow. If you suddenly had a cow going cock-a-doodle-doo, 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 if your cow started doing that, then it would no longer sound right to your brain hole. Your brain hole will be like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound like the moo that I was taught early on, because I remember the first time I heard a cow, it went moo. But this thing's going cock-a-doodle-doo. That don't sound right. That don't look right. My brain hole is not computing. So therefore, it doesn't work. That's why when some people do cover songs, and no matter how beautiful their voice is, no matter how great they sound, if they attempt to do the exact same rendition and not bring something new to the party, that absolutely, again, it has to be smoking hot. Like, you can't just free willy it. You got to bring it on a next level and remix it so that the association of the song is slightly altered in a sense, so your brain hole doesn't instantly go, you're just trying to sound like so-and-so, that don't sound right. That's not how they sound. Now instantly reject this. But if you remix it enough, the brain hole goes, oh yeah, that's different. Okay, yeah, and they would accept it. That's how it is. Therefore, oh, you guys who are used to hearing Freddie sing all the Freddie songs, you instantly reject it because your brain hole, especially you diehard Queen fans, and you know who you are, who listen to Queen 8 million times. You've listened to the same song 8 million times on repeat in your entire life. You've heard it. You know all the words back, forth. You know every single thing. You know his highs, his lows, everything in the song. You know. So you ain't going to be having anybody sing it. Pavarotti himself, freaking, it doesn't matter who sang the song. You're going to be like, nah, don't think I'm feeling that. Nah, it's not registering. It's not doing me anything. I'm not impressed. I'm not liking this. In fact, I'm a little bit annoyed that you're singing this song because you're ruining my awesome thought of how amazing Freddie sings when he sings this. That's why, number one reason a lot of people will never accept it, because your brain hole won't let you. Because your brain hole is just registering this as, no, that's not Freddie Mercury. That's not how it's supposed to sound. Because when I first heard this song, Freddie Mercury sang it, and this is how it's supposed to sound. And now you've got Adam here, and Adam don't sound like Freddie. And that's a positive, in my opinion, by the way. Because Adam ain't attempting to be Freddie. Adam is just being Adam. And that's great. And that's beautiful. But that's also why the other people don't like Adam. Because Adam sounds like Adam, and Adam doesn't sound like Freddie. And they're like, wow, he's just putting a little bit too much extra on there. I mean, that just a little bit, Freddie would have smoothed that in a bit differently. I don't know. I don't like that. So again, that's why some people are anti-Adam. How do you fix that, you may ask? Well, let me tell you how you fix that, boys and girls. As an artist myself, as a producer, as an entertainer, as a singer, as someone who has done this their entire life, I will tell you how you fix that. What you do is you go out with your new setup, your new team, your new lead vocalist, your guys who are playing the freaking different instruments. You get together, you have a powwow, and you make some new music. You make new music tailored and created for your current setup and your current lead vocalist. You make songs that are written for Adam, not songs that were written for Queen, for Freddie Mercury, you know, to sing. Songs actually written for Adam Lambert to sing. If you did that, if you took the time, the opportunity would be incredible, because suddenly you would have something new and fresh that you can associate your brain hole with Adam. And you go, oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds okay. So when they sing the song that Adam made, it sounds normal. It sounds right. Your brain hole goes, that sounds cool. That's dope. And I think Freddie would have wanted that. I believe Freddie would have wanted Adam to continue right now and make new music and continue the Queen story. See, here's the thing, boys and girls. Queen is something that I believe at one point was like a movement, you know? Because that's what Freddie's, a movement, you know? And I believe that if I personally had a group of Queen's caliber and just their amazingness, I personally believe that Freddie, especially because this was his baby and all the hard work that he put into creating this group, his passion, his heart, his love, his soul, to his very last breath, you guys. The last song that he sung, he was not well, and he did it. Even when he wasn't well, he still put out the last song. You see what I'm saying, guys? I believe Freddie would have wanted it to continue. I believe Freddie would wanted Queen to become like the situation where every freaking, you know, they're constantly replacing and getting new artists to, you know, to continue the Queen journey. So 1,000 years from now, Queen is still performing. You know what I mean? 2,000 years from now, there's Queen, and there's still the movement. They're still innovating, Part of innovation is making changes when necessary. That means sometimes if you have to replace a vocalist or someone on the guitars or the drums, you have to do it. That's being innovative if the time requires that to be something you do. And I think that Freddie would have loved to see Queen continue to evolve, to continue to spread their message of innovation, love, and passion, and just the joy of Queen's music. Everything that is Queen, to continue that message and that power, awesome music, for future generations, 2,000 years from now, 1,000 years from now. Sure, they can listen to the old stuff, but they could also be listening to new stuff and old stuff by new players, new actors, new people who are forming the new innovative Queen that continues to go. Like Menudo. Menudo. Who's heard of Menudo out there? I wonder how many of you guys know who Menudo is. Let me tell you about Menudo, boys and girls. Menudo was this Mexican, I say was, and I'm not even sure if they're still doing it. They could still be going on. I did not research that before I started this podcast. But Menudo was this Mexican group. I'm going to say was because I don't think they're still around. But let's just say hypothetically they are. Menudo, there's like these boy band kind of thing from Mexico. And they would basically make really cool pop music, things like that. They had a huge following. And what they would do is when one of the band members became of a certain age, either they would be like, adios amigos, you got to go. And they would find someone to replace him that was younger to come in the group. Or it's if one of the Menudo guys on their own free will just decide they didn't want to do it anymore. And they'd be like, no problem, we'll find someone to replace you. But Menudo always lived, and Menudo kept going and going and going. Even if they had to replace people or whatever, Menudo continued. And that's like Ford, right? Henry Ford's not here anymore, ladies and gentlemen. I hate to tell you, but Henry Ford is no longer here. But Ford lives on. Ford is creating new vehicles. Now, if they didn't innovate and they didn't create new vehicles, well, they would, first of all, people would get bored of driving around in a T Ford, not to mention the fact that, well, it'd be really slow and no one would really have fun in it. And I think a lot of people would change brands because they'd be like, well, but this brand over here is innovating and they've got air conditioning and they've got freaking computer and airbags and all these cool features. And this T Ford here, man, it doesn't have any of that. So Ford, innovative, continuing, moving on. They're still around making new vehicles. Queen, innovative, moving on, still making new music. That's how I see Queen. Personally, my opinion, but I think Freddie would have wanted that. I think Freddie would have loved that. I think Freddie would have been over the moon if the Queen story continued onwards and upwards for 1,000 years. And these new people who come in, if you tag team them in, they become part of the family. It's not like you're just getting strangers who suddenly be like, hey, we're Queen. No, they're passed down from generation to generation, like Black Panther, man, and Wakanda, man. And it's like you see the scene where they have the forefathers, in the afterlife, and it's the great grandfather wisdom people, y'all seen the movie, y'all know what I'm talking about. My point is, it's like it's passed down from generation to generation. It's passed down and it just continues. That's what I believe Freddie would have loved to see it going one day, passing the torch, right? Hey, I can no longer continue, so I'm passing the torch to you. One day Bri goes, hey, I can't strum like I used to no more. Before it's my time, I want to give you all my knowledge and everything and pass it on to you. Then they got the new, guy comes in, and you do it that way, and they're tag teaming throughout history. Next thing you know, 1,000 years from now, 2,000 years from now, Queen is still going, bro. But when you read the history books, it's going to be great because it tells the story of how these four lads got together and they created one of the most iconic and amazing groups of all time. See where I'm going with this, ladies and gentlemen? So, right now, you got Queen performing all over the place. And eventually, as much as you love Queen, let's face it, since you're not getting the Queen of old anyways, right? You're not getting the same old Queen because Freddie's no longer there. So it's already different, right? They're doing the same songs, but with not the same setup, with not the same team. So since you don't have the same team anymore, why don't we come up with some new plays, right? Just like in basketball or something. Let's get some new plays happening because we don't have the same team anyways, and let's make these plays focus around the strengths of our current team. So let's build around the strengths of our current team, and that way we can go and win some championships. That's what I believe Queen should have been doing all this time. And because they're still performing and because they're still, doing their thing, and because Adam has already accepted his position on the new team, then I think there's opportunity to bring Adam in full circle and say, Adam, you are now part of Queen, and we want you to carry on Freddie's dream, Brian's dream, Deacon's dream, Roger's dream. Carry it on so that future generations can enjoy and know and be entertained by the amazingness that is Queen, and keep our story alive, keep our dream alive and all that. And then one day, my young Adam, when you become too old to utter another song voice, I want you to pass this along to someone else and continue it. That is what Freddie would have loved. And I believe Freddie right now, if he would have known, if he was up there watching them perform, he's like, man, this is so stale. I've heard this song a million times already. We need something new and fresh. We need to be innovative like we were. What is this? Why are we still doing this? I don't understand. I think he would have been upset. I think he wouldn't have been happy. I think he'd been like, dude, y'all kind of let me down a little bit. Because, I mean, hey, congratulations. Yeah, look, hey, you're still performing. But you perform the same old songs. And, I mean, look, you've got poor Adam here, attempting to follow in my footsteps. He ain't going to follow in my footsteps because, well, I'm Freddie, darling. And so why don't you just make some new music for Adam, and then we can do some of the old stuff, and that's great because we have some of our iconic songs, like Another One Bites the Dust. Everyone loves that song. So let's go ahead and still do stuff like that. Bohemian Rhapsody, let's go and do stuff like that. Let's do all our big favorite hits, that everyone loves. But let's give Adam some of his own that we can create, and that would be awesome. Now, I heard a rumor that they did record some new music with Adam. That's what I heard. I heard that Adam did make some new music with Queen. I'm not talking about singing old songs or remaking old songs. I'm talking about brand new music. I don't remember the reason as to why we have not seen said music yet. It's probably because of fan backlash from people who, again, aren't willing to just go with the flow and be a little open to change and innovation, which is part of Queen's mantra. That's what Queen does. They innovate, they make change, they grow, they continue, and they go. So I think Freddie would have been disappointed. I don't think Freddie would have been happy knowing that for 30 years, 40 years, however long it's been, that they just kept singing the same songs and they didn't continue moving forward, innovating, and taking the lead. Instead, they've just fallen back and just relied on what had been Queen, instead of leading and continuing innovating and being what is Queen. Because right now, you can very clearly say that, yeah, now it's not really Queen if they're not doing the things that made Queen Queen. And one of the things that made Queen Queen, besides the people who were part of the group, was what they were doing throughout their career. They were innovating, they were growing, they were changing, they were going with the times, they were putting out tons of new music, tons of amazing new music, right? So much great music. They didn't stay complacent, they didn't have one album, and they didn't just sit there and go, this is us, this is where we live, this is our safe, happy space, and we're not going to venture out any other direction because we're just happy with this sound right here. If they would have did that, they would have become irrelevant, and Queen would never have become as big as they became. That's the facts. So at the end of the day, I think Freddie would have loved, absolutely loved, to have seen Queen come out with some new music with Adam there. You know, I think that, you know, Mark, unfortunately, has never really gotten the appreciation that he deserved as well. Hell, they could have did some new music and had Mark do some new stuff as well, you know. Mark Cartel, by the way, in case you guys was wondering who I'm talking about. Mark Martel. So it's like, you know, you could have did, like, there's some groups who have done that. You know, they've had NXS, I think, is one that comes to mind, where they put out some new music. They had a new lead vocal. Matter of fact, they even had a reality show looking for a new lead vocalist for the group. And they had auditions and everything. It was really cool. I thought that was awesome, you know, to carry on the story, you know, of NXS, that kind of thing. I believe that you could have done a new album, and you could have had Mark sing some new songs with the guys. You could have had Adam sing some songs. You could have had Roger sing some songs. And you could have Bri sing some songs. And I'm telling you, it would have been awesome. And it's not too late. But it is too late if, and by the way, if Bri, if you're watching this, or Roger, if you're watching this, or Deke even, you know, I know you haven't, you know, been really active with the group since, and fair enough, you know, we all have our reasons why we do and don't do stuff. But if any of you guys are watching, or the management team, the record label, anybody, have a little think about what I'm saying. Are you really honoring Queen? Are you really honoring Freddie's wishes by not being innovative, being at the forefront of new music, new exciting sounds, by keeping the torch alive? 1,000 years from now, 2,000 years, there could be a new Queen group that's still foundationally grounded in the original Queen mantra of innovation, of passion, of changing with the times, carrying that story around, keeping it alive, absolutely blowing crowds away with their performances and stuff. And look, every time Queen performs, they're doing it now. But obviously, again, you're not taking full advantage of the situation if you're just going to continue doing the songs that everyone heard a million times. That was songs where Freddie, again, going back to the moo of the cow, that everyone was used to hearing Freddie sing. You're not doing Adam justice. You're not doing Queen justice by not allowing innovation to live on, creativity to flourish, to keep Queen at the forefront where they belong. And right now is the time where it could be like Star Wars and Darth Maul, you know, freaking Luke Skywalker and freaking Yoda and all these things, you know, the master teaching his Padawan, you know, teaching him the ways of the Jedi, you know, teaching the ways of the Queen, you know. This could be happening. It's not too late for Bri to start teaching and sharing the secrets of what it takes to be part of the greatest band of all time. Like, they could be doing it. Roger. Boom, pop, boom, pop, boom, pop. Like, show them why you are one of the greatest drummers that have ever been on the planet. And pass it down. The knowledge. Knowledge is key. Pass down knowledge. If we don't pass down knowledge, it gets lost. So continue passing down the Queen knowledge. Pass it down. Pass the torch. And continue Queen. Let it continue. That's what I believe Freddie would have wanted. I could continue going on and on talking about this, but I think you've got the gist of what I am saying. I think you understand my thought process. And now I'm curious as to if any of you out there share a similar thought. Maybe some of you have thought the same thing. Why don't they just put out something new with Adam, man? Like, you know, let's continue the Queen machine, you know? Let's continue innovating. Let's continue going with the flow, going with the times. Because Freddie would not have wanted everyone to be moping around and just being stuck in a rut, stuck in quicksand, stuck in just this freaking non-moving checkout lane. He'd be like, yo, Y'all, if you're not moving, go to a different lane so we can get out of the store and go somewhere else and get something new happening. That's what I believe. Let me know what you guys think. Again, if you are watching this on YouTube, drop it in the comments below. If you're listening to this in your vehicle or somewhere, then make sure you go to Off Tap Life, to the channel, and you'll find the podcast there. Or apparently, now that YouTube has a new setup, you can actually just type in the Queen Show podcast. It should show up on the podcast page where you are listening to this, if you're listening to it from YouTube. So let me know. Find the show, drop it in the comments, and let me know your thoughts, because I would be very curious as to find out, does anyone else feel this way? Because it bothers me a little bit. It really does. It makes me sad. It makes me sad. I believe there's this huge opportunity, and it's become a missed opportunity, and that is the saddest thing, because then it just kind of fizzles, doesn't it? You know? And yeah, people will say, oh, but you know, you can still listen to all their old shows and see all their old performances. That's not the point. The point is innovation. The point is that Freddie would not have wanted everything to just kind of become to a standstill. He would not have wanted that, especially at his expense. Freddie would have been so heartbroken to think that everything stopped because he was not well and that he had moved on. He would be disappointed. It would break his heart. I know that he would have loved to see Queen continue to flourish and to tackle and climb bigger mountains. You know, that's what I believe. But you know, we all have our beliefs, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But I would like to know what you believe. So let me know. And make sure you're subscribed. And make sure you give this a thumbs up. Apparently it helps with the algorithm. And guys, make sure you lock and load it, because we will have a lot more awesome discussions like this, and also do a lot of things that we were doing originally on the Queen Show when we were reviewing your comments and information knowledge drops that you guys have of so much Queen knowledge, and we infused them in different songs that we reacted to and we reviewed and things like that. So we create a podcast around that and talk about all that and discuss it. And it's a melting pot of information, a melting pot of knowledge just being shared amongst all Queen fans. So let me know, guys. I would love to hear from you, and thank you for tuning in. It's great to be back. The Queen Show, ladies and gentlemen. A round of applause. And don't forget to look in the description for links to the new channel where it will be Queen Show podcast related stuff going on there. Okay? All right. Love you guys. And as always, remember to win to the fullest and to keep it off tap. Off tap out.